back towards the end and review that too. Hi, this is Joanne Hewes. I'm sorry we started this meeting without recording, so I will go back to our beginning at the end and review. But this first slide kind of gives an overview of hot, warm, and cold markets where you can get your clients. And I will go back to that in a few. I did have a question about meetups. When I get to that actual slide, I will review that information. Just as a quick review, I broke it into your hot, warm, and cold markets. Your hot market is people that are close to you, your family and close friends. Your warm market is people that you know, people that you work with, neighbors, any acquaintances, people that you used to go to high school with, that you're just friends on Facebook. And your cold market are, of course, those people that you do not know at all. So I will go back into this. This slide was, in particular, was just an overview. So let me move on. Why can I not move on to my slide? Oops, went too far. Hang on, let me back up. Okay, so let's look from current slide. Okay, so let's look at the hot market. It's your family, it's your close friends. And like I was saying earlier before we were recording, the easiest way is just to have conversation. You don't want to scare people away. You don't want to be like, oh my God, that's all she talks about is travel. And, she's always trying to get me to book things and, making people uncomfortable. But there's ways to talk about travel when you're not selling anything. You can just talk about, a weekend on the beach. Wouldn't it be great to all go to the Bahamas together? Let's have a family reunion. Hey, I'm taking my kids here. Who else wants to go? And all of those things come your way. Talking about travel and experiences. I know my sister and her boyfriend just came back from Greece, and they already had the trip planned right when I started this travel agency. But what a nice booking that would have been, because she would have booked with me. My sister owns a yoga studio, and one of her clients in the middle of a Pilates class blurted out, "Oh, I wish I had a travel agent. I'm so sick of booking all," and she travels a lot, booking all these things. And then my sister was like, "Oh, my sister's a travel agent." And next thing I know, I have $6,000 worth of bookings for her in 2 trips coming up, and that was about 3 weeks ago. So you never know when a casual conversation or somebody's going to, just because you're talking about experiences. And what I've found is a lot of people, it is easy to book online, but at the same time it's very frustrating and overwhelming for a lot of people. And they miss a lot of things, transfers, travel protection, things that they wouldn't have that could hurt them later on, not going with a travel agent. Ask questions, to people, what are they interested in? You can even just, hey, I'm learning. I want to know what kind of travel would you do? And talk to your family and friends. Just say, hey, if you could travel, help me out. Help me as a travel agent get better. What kinds of things are you interested in? And talk about your common interests. Reminisce about past travel. I know my parents are both deceased, but I know they traveled a lot when I was younger, and I never really understood it. My grandma would stay with me, and they were in Bermuda, or they were in Italy, and I understand it today. When I was younger, I didn't, and I don't have them today to talk about those experiences, but I'm sure they would have loved to share that with me, and I would have learned a lot from it. Then again, I never expected to be a travel agent. So the next thing is your warm market. Social media. In this case, social media can be in your warm market because it's people that you know. I have, friends that I just know from high school, haven't talked to in 30 years, but are now connected on social media, and they comment on my trips. They comment on engaging Facebook posts that I put. Like the other day, I just asked a question about, what was your most memorable Christmas present? Just to get people talking. And I think I learned this from you, Emily, that on your Facebook, you have to engage back with people for whatever their messages are. So when people told me what those are, I went back and made sure that I commented back, to them. That keeps people, active on your page and looking. And it had nothing to do with travel. So it was active, and when I do post about travel, they're going to see it. Okay, what are your connections? My husband, what did he do yesterday? I forget who he was talking to. I mean, I think it was or was oh, he went to take the car out for service. He was talking to the guy, and the man was telling him he wanted to go to London. So of course Dave was like, "Hey, my wife's doing a travel agency." He handed him the card, and now I'm talking to the mechanic about going to London. So you never know when the opportunity arises. You know, it could be acquaintances, coworkers, members of your church. I know I just started a uh, training with a religious travel organization because religious travel is huge, whether they're going on pilgrimages, whether they're going to, you know, around here we have the Sight and Sound Theater right in Lancaster, booking a bus trip there to see some of the amazing shows they have. Group cruises. I mean, church members travel together for so many different reasons, and it's a great place to tap into. Clubs, group members. My daughters do competitive gymnastics, and you know, the board, the Coasters Club, heard I was a travel agent, and guess what? I'm now the travel agent for the Booster Club. So for all of the travel teams, I'm booking their rooms. I just booked 20 hotel rooms in South Carolina for them for February. So you never know when those, you know, opportunities pop up, but hey, why not? You know, you go work out. How about your gym buddies? How about leaving some business cards at the gym on the tables? You know, some mock bookings. My sister and I right now are planning a wellness trip for her Pilates studio. And so we're actually planning, it's going to be, you know, a wellness opportunity. We haven't really talked in a whole lot of detail yet, but they do it every year. And guess what? Now I'm going to get the commission on that because I'll be, you know, organizing it. Your neighbors are huge. And you can do lots of things with that. You can send flyers, emails, postings, group travel, announcements, referrals, just conversation. A lot of the things that I am getting is a lot of word of mouth, a lot of referrals. One of the girls that I booked a cruise for called, well, Facebook messaged me yesterday, and she's like, "Hey, my friend's going to do a Disney trip. I gave her your information. Is that okay?" I'm like, "Of course it's okay. You know, it's fine." And just to give you an idea, that this stuff works, I've only been with the company since June, and I have booked $70,000 in bookings. I don't think that's bad for somebody that had no idea going in what it was even all about. I did watch Jody's presentation this morning. She's amazing. She did 475,000 in a year. Someday I hope to get to that. But these are good ways that we can all start. Any questions? Please stop me and ask. Anybody have anything yet? Questions?
I just had one thing to add, especially with the warm market. You
Yeah.
guys are gonna get a lot of people from your warm market, especially when you're first starting off. Like Joanne said, like I get a lot of people that reached out to like that I've known maybe from like Joanne said from 10 years ago. Joanne said like 30 years ago that once they hear you're a travel agent on social media, they're gonna reach out to you. Also, I remember when I first started too, I was working full time. So I got a lot of my leads from from my coworkers, from my colleagues. And listen, guys, when I first started, I got a lot of no's. A lot of no's. I'm gonna tell you an example. So my boss, my old boss, I mean, I was trying to get him to book a trip so bad. Okay, he asked me like 3 times. First, he wanted to go to Brazil. Then he wanted to go to Puerto Rico. Then you didn't understand. I did at least 3 quotes for him that he rejected. But guess what? The fourth time, it was a yes. Then after that, every single time he books a trip, he calls me. Not only does he call me now, he has his family call me. So just now I had a big group go to Montego Bay. So I booked it for his sisters, his cousins, so the whole family. So again, when you're first starting, again, don't be afraid to put yourself out there. You're gonna make mistakes, okay? Or you're gonna be like, oh my God, like you're gonna make sure you get on trainings to get better. Don't just feel defeated after the first few no's.
And
Okay, because right,
I'm
Joanne.
sorry, Emily.
No, no. I mean, can you relate to that?
Absolutely. And the things that happen, I got to tell you, if you're with this company, though, it's everybody is so amazing and supportive. weeks ago, it was a Saturday morning, and a friend that I had booked a trip to Aruba for called me. She's like, Joe, she's like, I for Aruba, I need to have my COVID test with the barcode, the QR code on it. Her and her sister both went to CVS. They both went to the same CVS. CVS sent both of their tests to 2 different labs. So her sister got a QR code and she didn't. I had no idea what to do. So I called Archer Travel and I left a message. And in about 15 minutes, I got a phone call back. And hey, here's A, B, and C, the things you can do. Unfortunately, I had to think on my feet because A, B, and C failed. So I actually called the resort, and the guy told me that, what she could do and it would be fine, and, all worked out. But don't be afraid to ask questions ever, anybody, because I think that's how we all, learn too. And Emily's so right. And that's why I say, like, build your reputation. Another thing, way to get clients, somebody called me and they wanted a flight only. And the first thing a lot of people think is, oh, I'm not going to get any commission from flight only. Well, there are ways you can, but even at that, if it's $10, is it really worth your time? Absolutely. First of all, I only saved the guy $5. Okay, so my pricing was no different than his, but he was so happy that he didn't have to do it. And he didn't see that the price was only $5 cheaper. He saw that the price was cheaper. So he booked with me. And then guess what? A couple months later, because I got him that flight, I'm now booking his Disney trip. So you never know. I mean, the simplest things, and the more you are there for people and upfront and personal, and you're talking to them on the phone and not just, on the computer, get with them. You will get clients, and you're going to get people that appreciate you, and, they're going to give you the work for them. For another friend of mine, it's got me to the point where I'm so frustrated because they keep messaging me, hey, look into this deal for me, look into this deal for me, but they're very, very budget conscious. So I'm giving them the deals at the same time. He only wants a nonstop flight because he doesn't want to fly, but they want to go right after Christmas when it's super busy, and I think I've given them a couple hours worth of work and they still haven't made a decision, but I'm still going to just send them things as I see them, and so something may spark their interest. I know what they want to do, but at the time of year they want to travel, just can't do it, within that budget. So you just have to be consistent, I think, and let them know that you're there. So for the sake of time, nobody else has another question. And my PowerPoint will continue. There we go. So your cold market. This is where it gets hard because this is the people that you have never met. All right. So this is where I say you pull out all of your best marketing strategies. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to take it from there. Here you go. Marketing strategies. So you start with social media. I have booked so many people from Facebook, not just as much Facebook in general. I'll put posts out there and people will see them and, they'll call me about it. Facebook groups have really proven, and silly as this sound, it's like the yard sale group. I'll put mock bookings out there. I'm taking my kids on a Carnival cruise out of Baltimore in April, and I was like, let's just see who else wants to go. So now my sister and my brother are going, and then other family and friends are going, and then I have about 6 other families that I booked just from a yard sale group on a Facebook post. So, you build these things. I almost feel like, I kind of think of the name of that show. It was a baseball show, but you build it and they will come, right? So if you make it, people are going to be interested in it. I stink at Instagram. I don't get it. I'll post some things once in a while from there. I have not gotten any business from Instagram. Some people do. I put it out there, not much. I don't do Twitter. I know some people have had success with that. My son made me a TikTok for the first time the other day. It was cute. I haven't used it much. I did a 10-day training for TikTok, but I'm not good at that. I don't use Snapchat. My kids use it all the time. They're trying to get me to do it. I know a lot of people that do. I just did my first few Craigslist things. I love Google My Business, and I am going to confess I pay for a monthly ad, but I get calls from all over the United States of people booking. I am got a call. Actually, I got a call from Google, and then he went through my EVO website. But I'm in the middle. I'm hoping to close it today, but then I might want to wait and close it tomorrow just so it goes on next month's bookings. But I have a $12,000 sandals booking going for a man and his wife for their I forget what anniversary it is, but he wanted business class flights, all the bells and whistles. Um, so it's great. I can't book handles directly right now because I need another month in, but I did it through Pleasant Holidays and he's happy. So, Google My Business works. I had another guy call me from Kentucky and he just wanted a flight to Pittsburgh and a car rental. So I was able to do that through downtown. For him, everything was great. But to me, it's worth the paying. It's tax write-off. And until I might not have to do that forever because once I feel like I have a client base that's sufficient and that I can handle, because some days I feel like I have so many things to do, I can't handle much more. But then I could always, stop that because I won't need that. But again, I don't expect anybody to have to pay that. That is just my choice right now. Big thing I think we all have to do is think outside the box. Plan group tours. All right, I'm going to tell you a couple things I have going. I live about 2.5 hours from the Pocono Mountains in Pennsylvania. And I have tons of friends. Matter of fact, how I met my husband was bike riding. And so I am doing, and I know that all my biker friends love the breweries. So I am working with travel agents from the Poconos tourist agency. I guess, whatever the Pocono Mountains group is called, I forget off the top of my head. And I'm putting together what I'm calling Bike and Brew. So we're going to do a long weekend in the spring for bike riders, and we're going to have different levels, whether you just want to do mountain biking, you want to do just road biking, and every day it's going to end in a different brewery, with some lunches and everything. So it's a lot of fun. But guess what? Once those clients do this and they like that, when they're ready to go on vacation, who they're going to call? Me, hopefully, right? And it's just a way, again, to get your name out there. I built for fun, and I go to this meeting once a month with a lot of older women that just quilt. And guess what? We're going to put together for the spring as I figure out, I have to work on the bus thing. I don't know how to do that yet, but I want to put a bus tour together for them for all of the quilt shops. We're going to do a weekend in Lancaster, PA, to all the different quilt shops and have a whole tour put together for them. So you got to think about who's close to you. Who do you know? What do you like? What are your hobbies? My brother golfs. My brother also motorcycle rides. He told me to do this, and I was just too swamped this year, but I am going to do it for next year to put together a Sturgis tour. Apparently, there's this Sturgis bike ride that is huge, and they, it's clients. You put it out in the motorcycle shops, you put it out, to friends, and you have bookings. So it works. Travel meetup I already spoke of, but again, it does cost money to start your own meetup. It's $16 a month on meetup.com. Just think of a local thing and get together. For those if you weren't here beginning, or when I was not recording, I did start a travel meetup in Vineland here, and I have 25 members. We meet once a month. We talk travel, and right now we're talking, hey, let's put a 2023 trip to Italy together. So you got to think outside the box, and you got to think about your connections. I'm talking a lot. Don't forget, you can cut me off and ask questions anytime. There's also your traditional marketing, business card drops. I was in the pizza place the other day and I happened to put my hand in my pocket and I was like, oh, I have business cards, and I just left them on the top of the trash can. They had a tray return and everything. So I, left business cards there. My local library has a community shelf. I put mock bookings there all the time. They, make flyers. I'm going to show you some samples of what I have. Email clients. groups, any special interest groups. I just talked to you about a lot. Churches, sports. I told you, I'm the travel coordinator for our gymnastics gym. Anything that you can think of, you can get clients. I see some things going on in the chat, and I have not checked it. So let me peek real quick. If there's any questions there that I need to answer. Okay, so I'm going to just go back to that. Again, it's easier for me if you just butt in, if you have a question. This can get overwhelming. And come on. Sorry, PowerPoint's there. Okay, so here's some samples of things that I did. This is a meetup flyer that I made. So I wrote, let's share our travel experiences, travel bucket lists, and get to know each other. This was the one from my first meeting. So I wrote, in the first meeting, we can enjoy light refreshments, play a travel game, share travel experiences, and create a bucket list of places, journeys, travel, and events can create travel itineraries for the group. And where we would meet. Nobody called to RSVP, but they all RSVP'd right on the travel meetup website. So it's pretty neat. And what's also cool is when you do that, and I saw a lot of the things that other people were involved in. There is one lady that does virtual travel meetups. She does virtual tours of places. So like last weekend, she did a virtual tour of Mexico. So I just watched, her thing. You joined, it was free. And she did, a virtual tour. She had about 30 people on her virtual tour, just, Mexico. So, if you get people, drooling over seeing what they see, you're going to get clients. So it was a really creative, out of the box, thinking of ways to get clients. This is my mock booking for the Bahamas cruise that I am taking my family on. I tried to put enough information without giving too much information. The biggest thing I've found, the biggest question that people's had right now is, do I have to be vaccinated? And it's interesting, on my Facebook groups, some of my posts turn into this big political thing about, should you be vaccinated? At the same time, I booked 6 staterooms from that same yard sale, Facebook yard sale. And if you have not been to a mock booking training, there are just some things I try to remind people. I didn't have to put that this is a Carnival cruise. I'll tell people that when they call me. So I didn't use Carnival in there anyway, but I did use a picture of the Carnival ship. So if you're familiar with Carnival ship, I mean, that's just a Google photo, that I put in there. But it is important to put things like all, prices are based on double occupancy, taxes and fees and flights not included, and then travel insurance is recommended, and I put gratuities not included. So they know that that's a starting. I also use the word from, because, of course, if you're familiar with booking cruises, you'll know if I'm booking a balcony room, there's a lot of different kinds of balconies that I can build. So it's always the from, so they know that's a starting point. Very, very important, I think, on a mock booking. This travel agent brochure, I forget who did the training, but she shared with us some of her Canva templates. So I created my own from that. So I kind of just put a picture. I introduced myself. These are things that, you can look at later, but gives you an idea. One of the things that was really cool, so I do these community fairs, and I am going to show you a picture of those in a few minutes. And I have a sign up on my community fair. Give me your phone number, give me your email address, and in exchange, I give you a raffle ticket. And I raffled off a travel basket. So in my travel basket was a travel tote, and then I had some like plastic vaccination card holders and some hand sanitizer and little travel things. And I also created on Canva $100 off booking fees gift card. Well, that's easy because in a way, kind of nobody really knows what your booking fees are. So if I was going to add, $150 on a Vax booking administration fee, maybe I'm only going to do 100. or I'm 50. So they're getting a discount, but it's not really costing you anything. You're just getting a little bit less commission, but I take a little bit less commission for a booking. This is another example of a mock booking that I put out for a Punta Cana travel. And again, there's, real important things. Price may vary by travel date. Flights change every day. So you don't know what those things are going to, you have to be careful about what you put in print. This is a picture of the first booth that I did at our community fair in September. So I did the banner in the back. I had done at Staples. It was about $60. No big deal, but it comes in handy. So I just kind of built a table, and I'll show you in detail really what I did. And there was actually another travel agent behind me, and he only had very high end like sandals brochures he was trying to push on everybody and things. So he did as well. Not in this community. Anyway, one of the things, that's my daughter Eva in the back. And one of the things I did on Canva, because I did decide to start doing some team building too, is I made this lawn sign. I think it cost me $14.95. And even though I didn't get any agents, I got a lot of interest and a lot of people asking questions. So because they weren't interested, in signing up or, joining a calendar that day, it generated interest, and it generated a lot of conversation. And most of those people, I ended up with their email, with their phone number to follow up for booking both travel as well as, potentially being an agent. So that is that picture. A little bit close-ups. That was a picture of my, travel basket that I did. I also, it was under $100 on for imprint, it's called. I made luggage tags. I put my logo on them. You could probably zoom. Let me see if I could zoom in for you a little bit. Yep. So I made these luggage tags and I handed them out. I also use those luggage tags every time somebody books with me. If they come to my house, which a lot of local people do, I give them the luggage tags right then and there. If they book with me online, I will mail them to them as a thank you. So very inexpensive, but I remember the first person that I mailed them to called me and she was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you sent me that gift." Like, she was like so overwhelmed for 2 little luggage tags that probably cost me $2.50. But they're little things that you do that are extras for your clients that will have them coming back to you. So just something to keep in mind. That was the, also, if you create things on Canva, our printing is incredible and it is not expensive. So these booking fee gift certificates, I think I paid maybe $1 each, and I think I ordered 10 because I didn't know it was coming up. I did donate some raffle, some baskets to some local, bag bingo things. Another way to get your name out. Donate baskets when they can. Go to the dollar store and you put, toothbrush holders. And I think on Amazon I bought a 20-pack of the vaccination plastic things for a few bucks. They're dirt cheap. Those in there, hand sanitizers, just little things, but people like it because they're getting something. I use the plastic holders to put, a picture of my brochure on there. So, that was all the pictures I had for that weekend activity, but a lot of fun. Any questions? Still good? Okay. So, ideas. Again, think about your local groups you're familiar with. Biking groups, that's my bike and brew. Motorcycle ride groups, quilting groups. And I actually saw this on one of the tour meetup groups and something I might do around in my local area. A wine tasting tour. Just take a day with your traveling group and put together a little, hey, let's go, go to a couple, like 5 breweries or wine countries around here. There's a lot of wine things to do, so you can go to a couple different of those for the day. Local sports teams, where they got to travel to. Your school, where's their school trip? I know my sons, I'm going to try to tap into the principal now, but I know they book a trip every year to Washington, D.C. Well, what can I do to help that? It's an overnight trip. You know, how can I get in on there? Foodie groups, religious, golfers are huge. Golfers spend a lot of money. Golfers will go to Hawaii. You know, so tap into those if you have a, you know, good golf area. Music lovers, luxury sports travelers, wellness, ski weekends. Skiing is big around here, with the Pocono Mountains being so close. So those are pretty much my ideas. The biggest thing I want to tell you is build trust. Do that little above and beyond that is going to make your clients, no matter where you find them, come back to you. I think that's really important. You know, build that good trip, do the above and beyond, which could be a whole probably another session, but it does make a difference. One of the things that I've been talking a lot with my new agents about is setting goals. You know, especially for you people that are new, whether you're new or old, you know, you have to have a direction. You have to know where you want to go. You just can't, you know, for lack of a better word, crap shoot at this. Okay. Monday morning, I set my goal. Monthly, I set a goal. And like I just kind of wrote this, like your goals determine your direction. You know, you can't just be unfocused. You're just not going to accomplish anything. Your determination is going to direct your thinking. You know, if you're determined and you're going to get it, that's what your focus is going to be. That's where your thinking is going to be. And that's what's going to help you think outside the box or say, hey, like right now, to be honest, I do not at all like my Facebook business page. I've been doing much more on my personal page, but it's something that I need to get to just dedicate to doing that. And I think that's probably what I'm going to do kind of like during that Christmas break week. I don't think people are going to be buying a lot of travel right after Christmas. So that's when I'm going to dedicate to, you know, that's something that I want to do. But when's the best time to do that, you know, and to spend that extra time? So I'm determined to do it, but, you know, so I'm thinking about, hey, when is that best time to do it? And also that your motivation is going to help you reach those goals, right? So I can say a goal, but if I'm not really motivated for it, if that goal doesn't mean anything to me, I'm never going to reach it, right? So make your goals doable. Most of you have probably heard of SMART goals. Make sure, you know, that they are smart, that, you know, they're achievable, that they're meaningful to you. And I think a lot of times in that word smart, that M should be meaningful. You know, it doesn't make sense to send to, you know, to get a goal. You're not going to, if your goal is to reach clients on Facebook, then break it down. Okay, break that down into what, you know, what are those parts? How am I going to do that? And don't overwhelm yourself. You know, one goal a week start. You know, if you're doing two things at once, like I'm doing right now, you know, I'll have a team building goal. I can't show you right now, but I have a kind of a little planner, and the left-hand side page is what are my team building goals for the day, and the other side is what are my travel goals for the day, and making sure I get all those things accomplished. So think about all of the things, you know, what do I want to attack my cold market? Do I want to wait on the cold market? Let me see what I can do with my warm. Let me see what I can do with my hot market first. Go in with the mindset that you're going to learn, would be my biggest thing. So the last thing that I wanted to do, because I'm talking too much, is that I want to hear what your ideas are. You know, what are your traditional ideas? What are your non-traditional ideas? So please share. Let's brainstorm together, because I certainly do not know it all. And I'm sure that you guys have done things that are successful. So what could we add to this? Who wants to help us out?
I think one thing that I have found in my first 5 days of doing this to help set goals
Yes.
was I got a whiteboard. I had a whiteboard. I still kind of do on the side music photography. I'm a freelance photographer, and my whiteboard has always been like really important. So I haven't been doing photography since the pandemic really happened. I wiped that slate clean, and any goals, because we have those goals that we want to try and meet within the first 30 days.
Right.
Of everything, and I put those on there. So there's that. My dogs are going, but that's what I did.
No, that's okay. That's all right. Whoops. Are you there?
I'm
love
here.
that.
I actually had to answer my door. I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm
I
sorry.
got scared. I thought
done
it was
anyways.
mine. All good.
No, I might have to answer my door. So I have to get my dog. She took off outside. So I'm sorry.
I do. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I do see a question from Amelia. What about a high school? I don't know anyone there, but how can I go about presenting my business to them? All right. So here's my idea for this year, being new at this. With each of my, I haven't decided what the teacher presents are going to be yet, but there will be a business card in every single teacher present. I'm not sure if there will be anything else travel related. I'm in a position where, because I was in education, schools are easy to me. People know me and respect what I have. So I'm not afraid to go in and say, hey, I'm a travel agent. You may want to just send an email, say, hey, my child's goes there, or my friends go there. I am a travel agent. I know you guys have X, Y, and Z planned. You may, in a high school, you may want to just reach out to the athletic director. Hey, who's planning your travel? Is that something I could take off your plate? Because athletic directors are super overwhelmed with all the rules and the regulations and the things that they have to do. So if they didn't have to worry about the travel, boy, you're not costing them anything. I've seen other people too offer to give back, hey, use me and I'll give you 5% of my commission back, to your football team, or, to whatever it is. So you can be creative, think outside the box, but I would introduce myself with an email, maybe send a flyer, just mail it to the principal. I'm not a cold caller. I like to speak people, but I probably would be too shy to just like call somebody I didn't know and talk to them. I'm not, as weird as it sounds, I'm not a salesperson. I don't like feel like I'm pushing myself on people, but I want to do it in a smart way so that they want what I have to offer. So that would be my recommendation for that. Sabrina, you asked, you fundraiser. Do you want to expand on that a little bit? I'm not sure if you're asking me a question or you're replying to Amelia.
I was kind of replying to Amelia more so as like an idea. It wasn't anything specific, but
okay.
Could y'all think of maybe a way, like how could we maybe incorporate a fundraiser school?
A great thing that I found for schools, and it was brought up in in my orientation. If you were on the orientation with Krista earlier last week, if you're new or if you weren't, she said trunk or treats. This year was a big year of trunk or treats, and that was a great way to get yourself out there. So if you're looking at schools directly, fundraisers are kind of tough from just my understanding of fundraising in general. But if you find an event like a trunk or treat or a celebration the school might be having with these crazy times, I would use that as an in, I would think.
Absolutely. And I think anytime if you go on like your local Facebook events, that's how I found all of the community activities that I've been doing. So last Saturday, we ended up getting rained right in the middle of it, so it got cut short. But the local high school here did a craft and vendor show. It was all outside. But it's just a place to get people talking. You're not necessarily going to book travel there, but people are walking by, and it was very, very windy, so I couldn't have my normal display. So I folded everything up with a business card. I stood outside the front of my tent and I just handed it to people and say, hey, you interested in travel? And some people would be like, oh no, I can't travel yet. So I just made sure that I generated a conversation. I'm like, oh, do you not feel safe? Because, the world's opening up, and just really getting feedback. And you may not get a booking, but you're learning. What is that? If you know what people fear in travel, that's an advantage to you, right? Because you can then go ahead and say, all right, people are not comfortable with this. So what information, can I give them that's factual that I can put on my Facebook, or email them, something to read about travel? But you're just opening up, people are gonna. I really believe that if you get out in front of people, as much as you can, if it's their basket bingo, even if you can't be there, and present, then donate your baskets. I would donate my basket and go, so that you can talk to people, but they're gonna call you. So any event that you can get in, or do sponsor some kind of fundraiser like a trunk or treat, something that's going to be really low cost. This event sponsored by Journeys Travel and Events. The other thing, excuse me, that I didn't I meant to touch on, I don't know where my slide for that went. I must have skipped over it by accident. But tickets. Tickets. I sold 2 Philadelphia Eagles tickets the other day. It took me about 2 minutes to go onto Golden Tickets and see what was available. I went to another 2 minutes to Events 365 to compare the prices. Another 3 minutes to post it on my Facebook, Philadelphia Eagles versus Dallas Cowboys, January 9th time. Tickets start at boom, and I sold 2 tickets for $674. I got 10% of that. It took me a whole 10 minutes. So, when it comes to tickets and sporting events, you guys have access. That's like instant money. I'm very close to Atlantic City, so there's a lot of concerts and shows that between Philadelphia and Atlantic City. I'm about 30 minutes from both in each direction, so opportunities for ticket sales are huge. I use Events 365, because their tickets seem to be a little bit cheaper than Golden Tickets, and you still get 10%. So if you have not signed up, just do Events 365. I Google Travel Agent Portal, and you can sign up on that. And again, they have the same thing as Golden Tickets, so it's sports, concerts, Broadway shows, whatever you want to, sell. Anybody else? Ideas? Something that worked real well for somebody that they want to share? Additional questions? All right. Well, if nobody else has any more questions, I think I'm done sharing today. Just keep your goals, keep your chin up. You are not going to get a yes every single time, but when you do get those yeses, even if it's a small yes, go on. And if there's a market that's not working for you, just move on. Don't get discouraged. Just go on to something else. It's kind of like it's Waldo. You got to find that little thing. And I think one other piece of advice I can give you is specialize in something. I love booking cruises because I love to cruise. Group cruises and cruises are the easiest thing to book. It's inexpensive. It's all inclusive. Get to go to many different places, on one trip. So cruises are a very, very easy sell. I love doing those. And again, my husband and I are going on a cruise that we planned before I was a travel agent. But guess what? I had it all booked, and then I called Royal Caribbean, and they repriced my whole thing and gave me my travel agent rates. Then I'm actually going on a free Royal Caribbean cruise for 8 nights in February. And then I'm taking my family on the Carnival in April, but I love the cruise. But it's such an easy sell. Like it's good. Find your niche. Find what you love. Find your hobbies and tap into those people. So go for it. And you guys can email me, message me, find me on the chats, whatever. If you have any questions anytime ever, I would, just be happy to help you guys. So good luck. If you guys have no other questions, thank you so much for, paying attention to me. I know I talked a lot.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Joanne. You did amazing today. We appreciate you for your
right.
insight and knowledge, okay?
All right. Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.